Everyone, Once Bitten here at the Battle Report. So, yet again, on the night before the U.S. Masters in Durham, North Carolina, 2014, I was at the game store looking around for people to play games. This game was actually set up a long time in advance. This is Josh Stewart. He's a fan of the channel. He reached out to me, wanted to know if we could play a game while he was in town, and I said absolutely. Um, I entered this game having played two games with my Bretonians and got smoking victories both times. So the extent of my cockiness is demonstrated by the choice of my army list. This is my Beastmen list with all chariot core and then a bunch of minotaurs. I don't know the last time I won a game with this list. I think it was last January. I took it to a tournament and went like 3-3 and yeah, I find it a fun list to play, but it's certainly got some weaknesses. But I was excited to try it out. So I make a mistake in deployment. I didn't ask if he had any scouts. I didn't think about it, and so I didn't plan for him. So he's got some scouts on the right with great weapons. He's got some fast cav up there. Then he's got a bunch of witch elves with a blood-rack shrine. You don't see that very often. One very cool thing about it: one, it's a chariot that can join units, and so that it has impact hits, obviously, which is kind of nice. All units within 6 inches, I believe, have -1 leadership. So that's pretty cool. I think the guy I'm playing, Josh, I don't think he put it in there just because of Swedish comp. I think he just really likes how it plays. So those witch elves are just very, very typical, just an absolute ton of attacks. There's some harpies back there. He's got a small unit of probably corsairs, and I believe he's got his level 4 is there, and I believe his battle standard bearer is with them as well. He could be with another unit, but in looking at these pictures, I can't see him. Anyway, so it looks like he has some warlocks out here in front. Some bolt throwers, a bolt thrower on the hill, and then like 30 executioners. Yeah, and with the razor standard, no less. So I don't want to get my Doom Bull. My Doom Bull is such a great matchup against many things, but not against that. So I don't really want them up against the Doom Bull. Or against my Minotaurs, or really anything else in my list. Then he's got some crossbows with with another sorceress. This is level 2 Shadow, another bolt thrower, and then some fast cav on the far left. So on the very far left, I got a chariot. I actually don't have 8 chariots. This is one I just haven't built yet. Then I have 6 Minotaurs, harpies. I have a level 2 right behind them, and this one has a dispel scroll, level 2 beasts. Then I've got just a bunch of chariots. I think I have 4 chariots. I've got another level 2, if you look in the bottom left. He's Lore of Beasts. He has a Stone of Spite, so if I can get him within 18 inches of my opponent's spellcasters, he can make them take d6 strength 4 hits, which would be very, very nice. It's a bound spell like power level 5. So then I have 6 Minotaurs with my Doom Bull and my Battle Standard Bearer. They're both in there. Doom Bull has the normal build that I always have with him. My Battle Standard Bearer has a 4 ward. Got some harpies behind him, another couple chariots, and then a razor gore, and then 2 more chariots on the right. There might actually be a third one. I don't know. Whatever. There's 8 chariots there. So I win the turn to go first. I'm not really sure. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I don't know how I can win this. Not because of his blocks of troops, but because of I have no shooting. He has good shooting. I have very little magic. He has great magic. And quite frankly, in combat, he's as good or better than me. So it's going to be tough. My only thought is I want to get the Doom Bull in with the Witch Elves. He can hold them up forever. Probably just do it. I think he's a great counter to Witch Elves because they're low strength, unless he gets Occam's Mind Razor, and he did roll Occam's. So that's the one danger. Other than that, my only thought is to try to pick off chaff if I can, and try to avoid the executioners, and maybe if I could hit it with 4 or 5 chariots, I will eventually lose that, but at least it can weaken him enough that maybe both of my Minotaur units can plow into the executioners and have a chance there. I don't really have enough troops to really keep the executioners out of combat the whole game. I've got a couple harpy units, but my opponent has 3 fast cav units and shooting. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for there. On the far left, I needed an 11 to make this charge. I went ahead and tried it because I didn't have a lot to lose. I didn't make the charge, obviously, but the problem was I did roll a 6. I didn't want to go up quite this far. But anyway, that's where he is. This is what the middle looks like. And then if you look at these, I turned 2 chariots to the side to deal with those shades. It really did have a whole lot of great things to do. I've got 2 level 2s with beasts, so I can license and stuff. But I went ahead and turned one into to something. Probably a chimera. Um, Really, just because I was hoping in my opponent's magic phase, it would force him. I was hoping he would use dice in his phase to turn him back, and then there's less he could do. I didn't have a whole lot else to do with it with my magic phase. Go to Dark Elf turn 1. He parks his harpies in front of my Doom Bulls unit, and other than that, he actually didn't move up as much as I thought he would. He kind of put his warlocks behind his executioners. His executioners come up some. I'm thinking if I were him, I would just cram those executioners down my throat. But at the same time, he probably didn't want, 4 chariots in his face. And if for some reason he wasn't able to get rid of the transformation, like if he rolled really low for his magic phase, he could have a mountain chimera in his face. God, that'd make me happy. Let's see. On the right, he moves his shades to where one chariot can't see him because in this tournament hills are infinitely high, and he's going to shoot at the other chariot. And here on the left, yeah, he just moves around. He's just going to shoot at my stuff. And yeah, there's that. And I wonder if there's a chariot, if I was showing a chariot dead. I don't know. He had so much shooting. During the magic phase, no, that was nothing. So during the magic phase, he gets rid of my transformation spell, which I can't complain. I mean, he really didn't get much of a magic phase besides that. But during shooting, he does kill one of my chariots. And we go to Beastmen turn 2. So I park the harpies up in front of the executioners because I just really need them to not be all up in my business. If he hits the harpies and overruns, he's not going to hit anything. If he hits them and reforms, I should be able to, to countercharge him with at least a couple chariots or do something like that. Yeah, so Beastmen turn 2, I charge the chariot in, and I try to restrain with the minotaurs. And I'm leadership 8 rerollable, and I fail it. And actually, in all honesty, you might see pictures where I've moved other things and I haven't moved my Doom Bulls unit. That's because I didn't take that test until after my turn was over, and then I said, crap, I never took my frenzy test. And I took it, failed it, and so we resolved it like we were supposed to. And it looks like that. That I can't even describe to you how critical that is, because we're going to slaughter those harpies. We're going to overrun D6 inches and stop where that chariot is. The chariot, I think, didn't go in. I don't know what's going on there. But those witch elves are just within easy charge distance into the flank of my minotaur unit. That's one of the huge weaknesses of this army is I'm only leadership 8, and I really can't take a standard of discipline unless I put it on my BSB instead of the ward. Over here, so in his turn, he shot at my chariot, and between then and doing a stand and shoot, he did 3 out of 4 wounds to this chariot. I make the charge. He has great weapons and always strikes first, so they cancel each other out. I'm going to get impact hits, but then he gets to go because he's higher initiative, and he has to do a single wound, and he's strength 5. Rerolling hits. So probably a suicide move, but at least I'll remove some of them through impact hits. Razor Gore charged these guys. They did stand and shoot. This is in the top right corner. And they missed them all, so got the Razor Gore in there, so I was pretty happy about that. And look at that. The shades totally fluffed against my chariot, beat him, and I tried to restrain, but I failed it and went right off the table. So he only has 1 wound left. I'm tempted just to hide him in the corner the rest of the game. The Razor Gore goes into his fast cav, beats them, they break, and run him down. So that was nice. And over here, I forgot to show a picture of it. The Harpies charged his bolt thrower and killed it and reformed. I like where they're standing. They can threaten the other bolt thrower. They can threaten this unit. I don't know. They can't hang out with the unit in combat very long. They're going to lose eventually. But I like that they're at least threatening stuff. And look at that. The Minotaurs win. Amazing. So, Dark Elf turn 2. His Blood-Rack Shrine with all the Witch Elves comes charging into my Minotaurs. The Executioners, of course, go into the Harpies. Over here, his Fast Cav charges the Chariot. The first turn I charged him, and he moved around. And the second turn I just moved him up. He charged me, and I fled, and I rolled like a 4. because I thought I had just it would have been easy to get away. But I rolled a 4. He caught me, reformed. I was within 6 inches of the harpies. They failed their panic and ran away. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. The best thing in the world would be for him to only kill 4 harpies, because if he breaks me and pursues me, the angle middle to middle is going to take him way to the left of the board. The problem is there's no way he's not going to do 5 wounds. And there's that. So I'm going to take my Doom Bull and put him on that flank. I'm going to take my Battle Standard Bearer, put him on that flank. And then there's going to be very, very few. I think I'm going to put him in first and third rank. Very few attacks that can go on rank and file. The problem is the Bloodrack Shrine is a chariot. It causes impact hits, and that's actually pretty huge because that goes against the unit. I can't stop that. He has some attacks against rank and file. I can't really stop that. What I need him to do is do a ton of wounds against my general. He's got a bunch of attacks. He has poison. They're low strength. The problem is if he doesn't get poison on me, he's strength 3 to toughness 5, and it's going to be hard for him to wound me, and I need him to wound me. So during the magic phase, he gets irresistible force and some kind of magic missile, destroys a chariot that's right there by the Witch Elf combat, which panics another chariot, and it runs away. Because I'm only leadership 8 rerollable, and that's just not good enough. He rolls a dimensional cascade and doesn't get sucked down into the warp. I was really, really bummed about that. I really, really would have liked for him to lose his level 4 right now. During shooting, he picks off one of my wizards. This is when I was trying to get him up close enough so I can dash forward and get 18 inches from his at least his level 4, if not both of them. But my opponent was having none of that. I figured with all my chariots he'd be focusing fire on them, but nope. Takes off Minotaur, some other shooting. And after combat, yeah, so he kills, I want to say, I mean, he rolls like max impact hits. I think he kills 2 Minotaurs just off an impact hits. It was ridiculous. And then he actually didn't do too many wounds. He did none to my Doom Bull. I think he might have done 1 to my Battle Standard Bearer, maybe not. Anyway, the problem is he couldn't wound my Doom Bull with his rank and file guy, so I didn't get any extra attacks, and I didn't get my reroll because I didn't have ASF, because he also has ASF. So my Doom Bull really just kind of fluffed his attacks. He killed a couple guys, and we're -1 leadership. So now he wins by a bunch. After the -1 leadership and everything else, we're down to Snake Eyes. We fail it, kills my standard and my BSB, but we get away. But of course, it panics a chariot or 2 and a mage. Everybody's panicked on this side of the board except for those Minotaurs. That hurt, my friends. That is not what you wanted to happen if you're a Beastman player. So, Bretonnian turn 3, I rally my Doom Bull, and we go in conga line, because if he charges in, I need him hitting that Doom Bull. I do not want him hitting rank and file with Witch Elves. I back up the other Minotaurs. I actually rally the chariots and the mage. I mean, passing leadership test now. Rally both the chariots on the right hand, or everything on the right-hand side is ready to go. So if he charges into my Doom Bull, if I can just do enough wounds on Witch Elves and hold them up, I can countercharge with 3 or 4 chariots, and should be able to take care of the Witch Elves. And I'm thinking on the left, I'm just going to take my mage in front of those Minotaurs and try to redirect with the mage. So it looks like that. Here are if you look at the very top, the Dragon Ogre that I use as a Razor Gore is coming around. And it really surprised me. He charged the Bloodrack Shrine out of the unit of Witch Elves alone into my Doom Bull. And I was thinking, this actually might work for me. The problem is the damn thing has impact hits, and he rolls high on them. And I think what I did wrong is I took all the impact hits against rank and file, and I think I should have allocated them between the 3 models, and that might have allowed me to save some and get extra attacks out of the deal. Regardless, that's what he does. He charges the Minotaurs with his Executioners. They flee. A lot of times people assume Minotaurs are frenzied. They are not frenzied. They only become frenzied when they're joined by a Minotaur character, and they don't have them over there. He charged a chariot, and I fled with the chariot. That's what's going on the left. I think there was another chariot over there, and I don't know where it's at. So now the problem here is I can't flee too many more things, because now his fast cav on my flank, he's going to be able to push me off the board. There's a Bloodrack Shrine coming in. The thing is toughness 6. I'm strength 6, so yeah, that's rough. He doesn't have enough attacks to make it worthwhile. What I needed him to do was come in and just totally fluff his his impact hits, and then I might have a chance of tearing that thing up. During shooting or magic, he kills my spellcaster. And after combat, yeah, he just I couldn't do any wounds to it. Even I was strength 6, he was toughness 6. I don't think I did any wounds. I see 2 markers on the table. It's possible I did 2 wounds to it. Yeah, let's go with that. But he had a charge and he did impact hits and he won by enough, and I was -1 leadership, of course, so I was on a no better than a 6 or 7 rerollable, probably worse than that, and failed it, and either got ran down or went off the table. So it looks like that. That's at the end of Dark Elf turn 3. I'm looking at Beastman turn 4. I'm thinking I could take a chariot into the flank of his Bloodrack Shrine. Even if impact hits, I'm only wounded on 5s, and that's kind of rough. I could take a chariot into his fast cav, and that might do something. I could bring the Razor Gore up and hide it. And I said, screw it. Let's go out for dinner. Yes, that's it. He broke the back of my army. Yeah, I mean, I have this chariot down at the bottom who's fleeing. I just didn't feel like I had enough, and I was happy to play it out, but it was a situation where we had a bunch of people waiting around to go to dinner, and we were just like, let's just call it. The fun of this game is probably pretty much over. So Dark Elves certainly would have got a 20-0 victory against the Beastmen list. Yeah, I think this is one of the very few times I've played against a new Dark Elf list, and I think I need to get some revenge against it. But anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.